Hey, if you're still awake, tonight I wanted to talk about pain. And I think pain is one of the few experiences every human being understands. Different stories, different circumstances, different wounds, same feeling, pain. Yet, I think one of the reasons pain feels so overwhelming is because we're always asking how to get rid of it, how to escape it, how to stop feeling it. When sometimes the better question is, why does it hurt so much? Because I don't think pain appears randomly. No, I don't think that's the case at all. I think pain usually points towards something that mattered. That mattered. I digress. So the reason I'm making this series about pain, right? So recently, it's not like I don't go through emotionally, mental, traumatic pain. Not like anybody else. I'm not special in the sense when it comes to pain. But I'm going through a lot of physical pain right now, right? My ring finger on my left hand decided to self-implode. And now it hurts like crazy. So I was like, I need to make a series about pain. My ring finger has been cut up by the doctor. They numbed my finger, thankfully. Shout out modern medicine. They numbed my finger where I couldn't feel anything, but they used an X-Acto knife and cut it to get the infection out. It was disgusting. And it's still painful now because now the numbing is going, so I can feel it. And when I take a shower today, it's going to be awful. The cost of caring. I think one of the reasons pain, let me repeat that. I think one of the reasons pain confuses us is because we often treat it like evidence that something went wrong. We assume that if it hurts this much, maybe we cared this too much. Maybe we trusted too much. Maybe we loved too deeply. Maybe we should have protected ourselves more. But I don't think that's true. I think pain is often the price of being fully present in something. Because the things that leave the deepest marks on us are rarely the things we felt indifferent toward. Think about the moments that changed your life, the relationship that almost became forever, the dream you spent years building, the friendship that felt unbreakable, the opportunity you were convinced was meant for you, the person you thought will always be there. Those things hurt because they occupied space inside of you. They became part of your routine, part of your identity, part of your future. And when something becomes part of your future, losing it feels like losing more than the thing itself. You're grieving possibility. You're grieving conversations that never happened. You're grieving memories that were never created. You're grieving a version of tomorrow that no longer exists. And that's why pain feels so heavy. Because it's not only connected to what happened, it's connected to what could have happened. I like that part. Because it's not only connected to what happened, it's connected to what could have happened. And that leads us into the future we grieve. I think one of the most overlooked forms of pain is the pain of an unfinished future. Because when a relationship ends, we don't only lose a person, we lose the imagined future attached to them. Facts. I mentioned that before that I miss my ex. I do wish I could turn back. I don't really wish. If it was recent, if my relationship was recent, then I would wish I could turn back the hands of time to get back into that relationship to fix what was wrong. But we can't wish on the past, we can only move forward in the future. We lose the imagined future attached to them. The trips, the conversations, the holidays, the ordinary Tuesdays, the inside jokes that never get created, the moments that only existed in our minds. And people rarely talk about that. They tell us we're grieving the ending, but often we're grieving the future, the version of life we thought we were walking toward, the version we had quietly started believing in. I think that's why pain can feel so confusing, hard, and different. Because sometimes what hurts isn't what happened, it's what didn't happen that hurts the most. Because pain is evidence. Maybe pain isn't an enemy. Maybe it's evidence. evidence that you opened your heart, evidence that you risked something, evidence that you cared enough to be affected. Because the opposite of pain isn't strength. Sometimes the opposite of pain is indifference. And I don't think we're meant to live in different lives. I don't think we're meant to move toward the world untouched. I think we're supposed to care, even knowing it might hurt. I think we're supposed to love, even knowing it might end. I think we're supposed to hope, even knowing disappointment is possible. Because a life without pain might also be a life without depth. And while pain can break us, it can also remind us that we're fully alive. And that is true. Pain can definitely break us. I am a embodiment in, I wouldn't say teacher. Am I a teacher of pain? I don't think so. I am an embodiment in learner, student of pain. Pain has taught me to grow. Pain has taught me to cry. Pain has taught me to move forward. Because without pain, who would I be? Without pain, where would I be? Because pain and sacrifice are almost the same thing. Almost, of course. You can sacrifice things and don't feel any pain towards them, but pain is usually come with sacrifice. For example, when I mentioned my finger, what did I sacrifice when going to the doctor to get my finger healed during this moments of pain? I sacrificed going to the gym, running, being actively, physically for maybe a week and a half, because I had to let my finger heal from the pain. So I ask you, the listener, from me, the speaker, a couple of questions. What pain are you still carrying? What does it reveal about what mattered to you? What future are you still grieving? What would happen if you stopped seeing your pain as weakness and started seeing it as evidence that you cared? I really do like that. It's not weakness to feel pain. Nobody's weak for feeling pain. If that's the case, the entire world would be weak. Even animals feel pain. But that's not the case. It's evidence that we cared. It's evidence that you cared. Even if you wish a better outcome, it's evidence at the end of the day that you cared and that you mattered and that you still do matter. Maybe pain isn't proof that something went wrong. Maybe it's proof that something mattered. Maybe the depth of the wound says something about the depth of the love, the hope, the trust, the investment. Maybe pain isn't the opposite of a meaningful life. Maybe, just maybe, it's part of it. It's part of one. It's part of the experience. It's part of your experience, the human experience. Because without pain, you wouldn't build character. And without character, you don't have the identity that you're looking for. Wow, that was really powerful. Even that was like really, really powerful. I would say this, like, I break away from what I'm reading right now, right? Break away from it. Saying that on top of the dome, it's like I'm reading from Mozart, Shakespeare, Kanye West, Bruno Mars. I digress. Maybe they're ghostwriters. They're ghostwriters. They're ghostwriters. Wow, say that 5 times fast. Maybe they're ghost writers are feeding information into my brain directly. Who knows? I don't think the goal is to stay in pain forever. I don't think we're meant to build homes inside of our wounds. But I do think we're meant to understand them, to listen, to learn, to recognize what they're telling us. Because sometimes pain reveals the things we valued most, the things we loved most, the things that shaped us most. And maybe understanding that is the first step towards healing. If you're still awake tonight, remember, the things that hurt us most often reveal the things we cared about most. Don't be ashamed of what hurts. It'll probably say something beautiful about your capacity to love. The room will reopen on Thursday nights. I'll leave the light on for you.